Hello everyone, welcome to the World Series of Board Gaming's Designers Series, where we are sitting down with the designers of the Lost Ruins of Arnak, Min and Elwen. They are a dynamic duo. They have brought you one of the top board games of all time, and they are going to sit down to fight each other for the title of Grand Lost Ruins of Arnak Champion, while I pepper them with interview questions to make sure that I throw them off their game so completely that the person who answers me the least will probably have the edge. It's a fun format. It's an even more fun interview. So let's turn it right over to them. And if you want to see them, get your copy of Lost Ruins of Arnak signed, or even compete in the Lost Ruins of Arnak event at the World Series of Board Gaming. If you see the designers and you think, you know what, maybe I could top them, you're in that tier of people who can compete for Lost Ruins. You only have to beat 12 people, essentially 12 people to win a championship ring to move on to play for $25,000 and the title of Best All-Around Board Gamer. It's easier than you think. Anybody can take it, and I am excited to see you all there. So if you want to brush up on your technique, you want to see what moves the designers are making and hear a little bit more about the design process and how Lost Ruins of Arnak came to be, well, stay tuned. Let's turn it over to Min and Elwen. And here we are with the esteemed duo, Min and Elwen, or Elwen and Min, depending upon how you're looking at the screen and how it comes off. Thank you so much for jumping on board, for agreeing to this interview. And are you ready for the fiercest Lost Ruins of Arnak grudge match to ever take anyone's screens ever? Are you ready to put your Lost Ruins of Arnak skills to the test against each other?
Are we?
Well, of course.
I can see you have your game faces on. I can see the cutthroat nature. I know below the table you're holding the daggers and knives, ready to strike.
Yeah, you're kicking each other here.
yeah, exactly. If we see some kicks and shoves, we'll know what's happening. But thank you so much for jumping on board. Before we get into the match, I would love for you to sort of introduce yourselves to the viewers and talk a little bit about your design process and how you got started into board game design and how long you've been interested in the hobby, all that sort of thing. What made you want to design one of the greatest hits of board gaming? It is number 29 on Board Game Geek as we are speaking right now, out of every single board game out there, which is pretty impressive, since that, I believe, was also sort of was it your first game design, or had you dabbled in game design in the past?
Well, we always dabbled, but it never came to fruition. So this was like the first one that really came together. Yeah.
So yeah, we can definitely say it was first published, but it was very close to being first playable prototype too. So we didn't expect any kind of success. This is crazy.
It was just a fun evening project where we were like, okay, we really wanted to design a game since forever, like ever since we attended university. So it was like, it has to happen now or we're never going to make it. So we just really pushed it forward, and
it worked.
It worked. It was surprising, actually.
Amazing. That's awesome. So in terms of, you mentioned you wanted to design since university, what sort of got you started into board gaming, and how did you two meet? Did you meet in university? Tell us your love story.
It was even before university, actually. Yeah. It was through a common hobby of ours. We were into live action role playing, so that's how we met each other.
Amazing.
And board gaming was kind of like part of that community. So when we were not running in woods, we were playing games.
Close to Dungeons and Dragons and board gaming and all that stuff. So yeah, and I've been like actually playing board games, like it was like in our family since forever. So when I was a child, I played like hundreds of games of The Hobbit, the board game, the old one. I just loved it, and my mom was like, again, So
yeah, and we've been board gamers for a long time. So there was a smaller community back then in Czech Republic, where we are from, and so we were, shipping games from Germany, translating rules. That was basically my only knowledge of German.
Elwen was actually the one who was like more into board games in general. I remember one time we were like waiting for a train, and he just went somewhere to buy some water, and he came back with a board game. So I was like, that's very helpful.
You can certainly drink that. Yeah.
I don't know where you actually got it. How does that happen?
It's just that board games are calling to me.
Yeah, they've always been calling to you. And so what were some of your you mentioned that you'd dabbled a little bit in game design. What were some of the things that you experimented with before you got to Lost Ruins of Arnak?
Well, it's not true that we were like without experience, because like one thing, since we were really into board gaming, from this small community of board gamers in Czech Republic, there was a group of friends. They decided to actually start a company that as the Czech Games Edition. So those were our friends, and so we helped them as testers. So we were testing their games from the very beginning, like Space Alert and just games like that.
Right.
And then we tested some more, and then we became part of a development team. So we've been working with CGE for a few years before we started designing Lost Ruins of Arnak.
Mm-hmm. Mainly testing, but also like helping with the development as well. So.
Yeah. For sure. I mean, I feel like a lot of people watching, I certainly didn't know this before I got more involved in the board gaming hobby. People don't know the importance of developing and how much a developer really has a say in the creation of a product. Do you want to talk a little bit more about your experiences in developing and what you enjoyed from that? A question I was going to have later, but I might as well ask it now, is the idea between like play testing and developing versus designing, and the differences there and what you enjoy doing between those two things. If you have any thoughts on that process.
Yeah, I think it's really different, and I didn't really expect it to be this different, because coming up with something that actually is fun and holds together and is playable is like the first step, and it's really tough. It's like tougher than it looks. Right now we're trying to put together a game, and it really took us. Yeah, it takes a lot of time. That phase where you're looking for the fun in the game,
Mm-hmm.
But the second part it's also fun, but it's really different. Developing of the game is more about actually like fine-tuning it and finding the correct values, kind of, instigate the right feeling in the players. So basically making some things more valuable than others,
It feels more like modding a game, like you're coming ideas how to make it even better, and then rejecting those ideas and kind of like going through all these kind of like motions, trying to see what could be the best product ever. Like especially in CGE, we spend so much time actually like fine-tuning stuff. We have online tools when we test a lot, and it's super helpful. I think just to see how much energy goes into it and how many people are willing to help. It's great. I think it will be different in every company. How much. I believe there are companies where you basically, if you sign some game with the company, it will basically be published as it is. In CG, there's definitely this development phase where you work with a designer and you just try to help them to bring the game on another level before it's finally published.
Definitely.
Right. And how much? I assume it's a different culture too, because you're so entrenched working with CGE beforehand. You're all a group, a good community. When you were bringing forward Lost Ruins of Arnak specifically, how much were you involved in the development process then of Lost Ruins of Arnak? I assume fairly significantly, but
to a large degree, we were like our own developers. We had a team, of course, but like we had to kind of lead it in the development phase.
And it was actually something we're very grateful to the leadership in CGE, because they trust us enough to actually to know we are the designers, but they allowed us to also wear the developers hat. So we had a lot to say in how things will look like at the end. And of course, with both hats, we wanted the best game ever. And they just really allowed us to, I don't know, like for example, to go all in the art direction or the world building. So it was a kind of experiment. We never had, for example, that many artists working on one project as we started with Lost Ruins of Arnak. And yeah, so we're super grateful that they allowed us to just took that risk, and we're so happy that it worked. So that's great.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's super cool. When you were initially developing, did you start theme forward? Was it a sense of you wanted to make a game about archaeology, or was it more mechanics based?
It's like both a little, because you always start with the mechanics. Well, we do, because we really needed to work a little at first, and then even in the first beginnings, where a game is, well, the first prototypes of Arnak were vastly different from the end game result, but still in the first prototypes we did have the theme, and we kind of built it around it. Like the rest of the game was built around the theme. So.
And as soon as we had the workable prototype, like the basic core worked, it was the moment when Min took a lot of time to create the world building document that she then carry on and working on that document with the artists.
It was a fun project, because at first I was like, is this really necessary? Like, do I have to write all this stuff?
Right.
And then really got into it, and it was so much fun to invent the world, and the culture.
Yeah, that was actually close to playing on D&Ds when preparing campaign.
Absolutely.
We kind of created all this culture that once lived there, and then the reasons why it disappeared, who are these mysterious guardians? So we know
and
that.
Then we never told anyone.
So it has this rich background that, of course, you can't express everything in a Euro game. But then again, we have this world, and we feel like it's still kind of, there's a lot to discover still. So we hope that players may have chance to discover more, maybe eventually.
Maybe eventually down the road is what I'm picking up. Who knows? With that, I think let's turn it over. I'm going to continue to ask you questions to make sure you're completely off your game, and so that the person who does better in the interview is likely to lose the game. That's my goal. To have this balance.
I'll stop talking now. So.
This is like
I'm not competitive at all, So.
This is like the chess box,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I do have two more questions before we turn over to the board. One, you mentioned the prototyping stage and things being different. Obviously, things evolve. But what was the first glimpse of Lost Ruins of Arnak? Where, if you can remember that very first prototype, where did it come from, and what were some things that didn't exist in it that were then developed? Or if you can remember, I always describe them as aha moments. That idea of oh, this is what we need. This is what we work. What things were not in the beginning that eventually came out to be, or how was that first prototype looking?
There were many things that were not there at the beginning, but the aha moment was when actually Min discovered a way how to combine worker placement and deck building together. That was a big breakthrough, and that created the first prototype playable. And to our big surprise, people liked it. The first time they played it, they told us that they enjoyed it, and we didn't expect that at all.
There was actually combining the worker placement and the deck building. We had to break the structure of the round. Make it we play just one card, just one main action. That was the one big breakthrough.
Yeah, because that's our favorite two genres of games. We really like deck builders. We like worker placements. But back then, the deck building, it was mostly Dominion or Ascension. So you play all your cards.
Yeah.
And that's somehow if you would also place all your workers.
Right.
Be quite advantageous for the first player. So we needed to find a way how to break that kind of the rhythm. And so that was when we created this kind of you just have one action. You don't play full hand. You just maybe play one card. You just place one worker and may have these micro turns, and that really open up the design space.
Right. That's cool. That's really cool. Yeah, because that was such that's where the flow comes in, right? That's where the tension comes in. That's where I personally am excited to see who comes out on top in the World Series game, who becomes the first World Series of board gaming Lost Ruins champion. I'm excited to have you all there to be there to commentate, to play with players. But my question for you, going into this grudge match, the most intense game. I mean, at WSBG, it's not going to be, it's all friendly, but here I see the game faces, I see the intensity. Do you keep track of your wins and losses, and who's the favorite to win between the two of you going into this game?
Well,
we
do keep track, right?
Well, we don't keep track of the prototypes. Like, we play this like hundreds and hundreds of times. So
for sure. But since being published, I mean, just judging by body language, my money's on Min right now.
Well, to be honest, because it's been a while we played on the PGA, and we tested it this morning, and I lost. So that's very fresh. So my money would be on Min too.
The thing is, I tend to usually win the first few games when we learn a new game, but then I start losing because he learns the game better than me, and then that's how it progresses.
So I should win, and so we'll see.
So I guess we'll see. I will turn over to the table. I've hit record on my end, so I'm going to be monitoring all of your moves, but I probably won't be able to see the cards in your hand, and so I might ask you some questions about cards in your hand. You two are playing side by side on two computers, so you might have the advantage of peeking into someone's hand if if you want. But for the sake of our viewers, I might ask some questions that might normally be hidden information. Mm-hmm. And we are playing on which side? We're playing on the Snake Temple. And a good first question, as you survey your options, is to talk a little bit about the differences between the Snake and the Bird Temple. We were talking about it a little bit before the interview began, but I wondered if you wanted to relate that to the viewers.
Well, the Bird Temple we designed to be really friendly. We wanted new players to be able to build an engine and to achieve something. So, like, one big difference is like it's much easier to get your assistants and to have them gilded on the stronger side on the research track. So that's why it's different on the Snake Temple. You really need to deserve those assistants. You can't just blindly rush with your magnifying glass all the way up. There are some thing there, so you need to time things well. It's different aspects of the game are more in balance on the snake side of the map.
And so, thinking about this, well, we have Min who's going first. Min, you didn't get your preferred player color of blue, so you're at a disadvantage. Elwen does have his preferred player color of yellow, so already we had to give him some sort of a handicap because of the early game that happened, right? But I'm wondering too, Min, is what are you thinking about for your opening move here?
Well, I have many options, but I think I'll go with the jewel this game. So I'll visit the jewel side.
That's a safe strategy, you see, because.
Well, we'll see about that.
We'll see about that. I have now basically two very good options. Mm-hmm. I can counterplay, because if I allow Min to go also for tablet, she will be guaranteed to get the first assistant.
Right.
But that can complicate my life, because if I want to get my assistant, I would need to go exploring, and for that I need compasses.
Now, in terms of your opening hand breakdown, Min, clearly you had 2 fear in your hand. Elwen, do you also have 2 fear in starting? And how does that change up your decision making?
That's why I will not block Min on a tablet side. Otherwise, probably I would. But here, I will go for compass side that will allow me to discover a new site later on. But yeah, I shouldn't mention that. Maybe she listened, so now she will go.
Do you feel after so many games of playing this together that you know each other's moves? Just by the initial move, do you think you could anticipate how the other is going to play, especially in this first game?
I don't know. I mean, the openings are quite mapped out, but it could really easily. It branches out so quickly that after 2 moves, it's out in the wild, and you really need to. I mean, I don't know my moves. I don't know what I will be doing in 2 moves, so that's difficult to see far ahead. And if there are some good items, like there are some, there are like there are some like options that would work regardless. You can just ignore the items, but they would be mistaken. So there are some really good items already, and yeah.
Which are the items that are the best if you want to reveal your hand? Or we can wait until that happens in the game. Once you buy an item, we'll know that's the best one if you don't want to reveal your strategy.
Well, that might be tricky.
Okay, I'll save that question for another time. What I will ask you is a completely un-gameplay related question. I do want to talk about the idea of being first published designers, right? With having such a big hit right off the bat, and then wanting to flesh out that system and give people more of what they love. Of course, is there ever any pressure that you put on yourselves to like try to find the next Arnak, right? Like, is there that pressure that's there, or you're just enjoying the idea of you're just enjoying the process of coming up with creative things?
So the thing is, like, like we basically design Arnak as a game that we would enjoy playing together. To be honest, like the first prototype was just for 2 players. Then we kind of like scaled it up and opened the map and everything, so it would be up to 4 players. But the first prototype was just Min and me just playing it. And I think this is still the philosophy. We still we try to design, like we would like to keep continuing designing games, but we first need to find something that we would really enjoy.
Right.
We're kind of strict on ourselves a little because we really want to. Yeah, like we kind of disregard some ideas because we don't enjoy the resulting prototypes. So that's kind of hard. I don't feel any real pressure from like outside.
Yeah, that's great. That's great, because I feel like with a hit, sometimes there is that pressure.
Yeah. It helps that it's not like our main job, So we kind of in the development mainly. This is sort of like a hobby.
Yeah, in a way, like designing part is usually coming in the like just evenings when we want to do something together creative. So currently, for example, we are working on SETI, the game that will be published by CGE this year, which we are totally in love with. It's so much fun to be part of the development team. But yeah, in the evenings, we still try to just design something. And of course, we've been quite busy designing expansions for Lost Ruins of Arnak.
Yeah, for sure. Well, we have how many expansions are out now, and how many are upcoming that are secret that you can't talk about?
Well, we have the first expansion was the leaders expansion. It's like introducing the new characters you can play, and the second one there's some of the leader characters as well, but you have also like all this campaign, and who knows, there may be.
Well, who knows? Yeah, exactly.
One day.
Who knows? We may never know unless you happen to let it slip the 5th time I prod you about it on this call. I want to go back to the game and ask you, Min, what are your favorite assistants to get, and why did you opt to choose for that conversion assistant?
Well, I like those that provide travel, or sometimes the compasses are really helpful. But this one I like because the conversion is nice. It's usually, if you don't like, she may be a little bit tough in the beginning because you want to buy good cards as well. But in general, like generating resources that can help you climb the research deck is a good option. So
I really appreciate it. Just like I wouldn't dare because for such a to go for such an assistant, because with this assistant you need to keep in mind to have a coin available, which I wouldn't be able to do while talking. So I would definitely misactivating her several times. So I'm going for a move that's very unusual for me, at least. And I would idle to actually get a coin and compass just because I want binoculars that I consider to be one of the best cards in the game, which is very expensive, and I hope it will pay off. Because I'm giving up like my first assistant will come much later.
Okay.
That would be a better way to go to get the binoculars, but at least I got.
This is definitely something you wanted to start a game.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. Okay, so you see, I did not progress on a research track at all, which I'm not saying is the best strategy, but we'll see how it ends up. And I'm passing.
Okay.
Yeah, binoculars. Well, at least the site is explored. You can make sure that you will get value out of those binoculars in the next round, even if nobody did explore. How much do you find is it important to make sure to clear the guardians of the places that you explore?
That's a good question. It's quite important.
Mm-hmm.
It depends on the phase of the game, I would say.
There might be situations where I prefer to get an assistant over, and depends on the guardians. Like the one I overcame was quite expensive one, and I did it mostly because I had nice matching resources, and I could do that without passing too much. But yeah, it's good if you manage both, which is not easy to get and overcome guardian. That's the best combo you can get.
Well, yeah, it was a pretty fortuitous guardian that you got two of the resources needed to pay it off right there, but just by going to the location, right?
Mm-hmm. That's the experience. You need to kind of know how to search the jungle for the right guardian.
That's the experience. That's where the lore building comes in, right? You knew what calls to make as you walked through, going.
I'm wondering whether I should do a very untypical move now.
What are you contemplating?
Well, buying the compass, precision compass. I guess.
Up here for 4 coins.
That's interesting.
Oh, but you have the airdrop.
Mm-hmm. That's something. I'm going to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And that'll let you get your nice balance of artifacts and items into your deck. How often do you buy an artifact hoping to use it with tablets very frequently as part of like your deck building aspect, or do you focus more on just the one time?
It depends. Like there are some that are quite strong, so the stronger ones it can pay off, but it's not very typical to buy them early on. So we'll see whether this was a good move.
I already see I made a mistake. I misplayed once. Here I overcame this beautiful tiger, but since like you don't see the majestic tiger on a BGA, but just this little thing, bow there, so easy to miss. I should have played that one.
Use the bow instead of the coin. But that's why we called it, when I was doing this with Asger, we were playing Heat together. The designer of Heat, I called it Distracted Driving Edition. So we'll have to distracted exploration, distracted archaeology edition of Arnak.
Exploring again.
Yes.
That feels like a pretty good guardian as well, because you're keeping getting that arrowhead economy happening, and you can just use it to buy it off.
But while Min is generating arrowheads easily, those are not as easy for me. I mean, like except for the instance of the site, but then like I'm not progressing on the research track at all.
That's true.
I don't like your move. This is. I will have to go here. Oh, I keep clicking the lower part of the site. So sorry, I was taking too long.
You're not taking. You took like 10 seconds to make a decision on your move, and you're like, "I'm very sorry. Oh, I'm taking way too long." That shows the elite Arnak performances that we're having around the table here.
So Sturdy Boots, significantly better card on a Snake Temple, since there's a location matching the requirements there. You can place a worker discounts of 2 boots, which can be handy now when we discover the site.
Right.
Oh, it's my turn again.
Yeah, we're playing without sound, so we need to be nudging each other here.
For this one, since it allows me to exile here.
Okay, so I really should be researching. I know that.
but there's a but here, I feel.
Oh no, and the Guardian and everything.
You're so slow.
More pressure on me. Okay, well.
All right, to distract you both even further, I'm going to hit you with a different question. How do you feel? I assume that you have heard ad nauseum comparisons of Lost Ruins of Arnak to Dune Imperium, just because of the shared deck building and worker placement game. And when I hadn't played both games, I thought, oh yeah, that makes sense. But having played both games like quite a bit, I do not understand the comparisons between the two games. I feel they're so different. I think one of your aha moment about that cycle of playing cards and not revealing all at the same time, and that cycle and the tight economy that Lost Ruins provides, it really hits a completely different skill set. Do you have any thoughts on that, or does it? Does the constant comparison surprise you still? Because like it really does surprise me.
I can understand it because it really came out like it was 2 weeks apart,
Right. Yeah.
Then 2 weeks after that they announced Dune. It was just like I think everybody was curious about like, okay, how did it happen? Like how come there are two games so similar in the mechanics combination?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's how it actually happened. But you are right; they are vastly different. I think there's like similar components to it, but how it plays, it's just so different.
And we told you we're big fans of worker placement and deck builders. So Dune Imperium is one of our favorite games.
Yeah.
We played a lot actually.
Right. Awesome.
We have like a full shelf there, like all expansions, everything. It's awesome game. So actually, we're so happy that
I really like the first expansion.
Yeah. So we really hope that like there will be more and more games that will combine these two elements because we think it's really fun.
Mm-hmm. Well, then are you two, follow-up question, are you two going to compete in the Dune Imperium tournament in World Series of Board Game? I think you can. It's not on the same day as Arnak, so you should both enter and potentially become the champ. Wouldn't that be great? The designers of Lost Ruins of Arnak being the Dune Imperium champions. Although I think then people would start to say that, oh, it must be the same game.
I'm losing this game.
Okay, well let's turn back to the game to give you all a chance to.
No, I mean like I'm passing second round and I haven't started searching it, which is fine.
Okay, this is new.
It's all about tempo. Like sometimes you rush, you get all these kind of research bonuses, but sometimes you really build strong deck. And no, I need to catch up.
Okay.
I really like the subtle comment of, oh yeah, this is new from Min. Well, why don't you walk? So what did you end up doing on your turn then, Elwen? You managed to overcome the other Guardian, so you've gotten 10 points of that. You've bought some more cards. You were able to trash a fear with the Guardian bonus.
Mm-hmm. So that means I have very nice and slim deck at the moment with the binoculars in it, which I hope I will see every round. That should be awesome. But I already spent both of idols that I got. I will need idols to progress on a snake temple, which is this is not good. This is not good.
Just bought a car.
You bought a car. Beautiful. Congratulations. And still, like the assistant, like not having assistant going to the third round. This is a strategy I can't recommend.
Well, it's good. It's good as people prepare for their Lost Ruins of Arnak games in the World Series. It's you're providing an education for them. I think that's what you're saying.
The reason why I'm playing the way I'm playing, right?
Exactly.
I'm just showing you where you will end up if you follow like you really need to focus on the research as well. Like it's so tempting to spend your resources everywhere else, but no, the research is there for a purpose. That's why we are on Arnak. We want to research it. So
well, I
right, that makes sense in terms of the lore. It's the lore.
do you think it's wise to not explore at all?
this is a rhetorical question.
Well, we'll see. Maybe I'll manage.
Okay, I will wear my trusty sturdy boots.
You've got your sturdy boots.
I will walk to my.
I know.
And so this is my third arrowhead, which I don't need for research on this temple. And that's fine. That's fine.
Now, in terms of going up the research track, how often do you find yourselves going through the same pathway or diversifying the pathway? I would assume that diversifying the pathway, as we see Min's notebook and magnifying glass on those two different sections and going up in those two different ways, I assume that feels like it is potentially the better way to move, since you'll be gathering multiple different combinations of resources and not the same ones over and over. But I'm just wondering, from your experience, how that research track progression has gone.
I think it really depends. This is a very technical side of the game, where
it depends on the fellow players, what they're doing.
On the side that's discovered, that's very important. That's quite crucial. And and then of course you want to pick up these research bonuses that are there. If you leave all of them, for example, to Min, then you will lose. So
I'm stuck because I didn't think this. Oh no.
It sounds hopeful.
This is sad.
Tell us more about that.
Well, I'll probably not be able to play the ritual dagger.
Oh no.
So sad, right?
Because you'll need the tablets for.
No, I'll try. I'll try maybe.
There's no shame in going to base camp, right? This is like.
Oh no. Oh, maybe. This will work.
We can't undo stuff. This is a tournament setting,
I didn't realize I already went somewhere, so this was a bad move. But anyway.
Again, this is why I'm throwing things at you. Again, I will take all the responsibility here. It is my goal to make sure to keep you off your game.
You have succeeded. I just why did I do this?
No. Okay.
Well, I think that speaks to the tight quality of Lost Ruins of Arnak and the intense resource management skills that I feel people really need to be good at this game, because I have found Lost Ruins is such a fun game, but it is one of those like frustratingly fun games, because you're often just that one resource short from doing that amazing combo move that you want. You mentioned worker placement and deck building. How proud are you of that tension of resource management?
I think it's really the moment when I feel like more often than the frustration, it's like the surprise. It's like, okay, I got this one resource. And suddenly you realize, this open up this option, which leads to this option. And then you chain these actions, and suddenly like this combo potential, it feels great. We really wanted people to feel smart when playing Lost Ruins of Arnak. So we try to kind of like make things kind of like, that you can create these chains. And I think it's fun.
Also like we experimented a lot with the resources and where you can find them.
Yep.
Because originally we had like versions where you had to pay arrowheads to buy artifacts, and it just didn't work because it was so confusing. Or we had versions like where you could generate the resources from items, arrowheads or the jewels, and that wasn't very good as well. So we had to really balance this, fine tune it, so to say.
And it was also good to kind of like give some kind of that it wouldn't be just a resource. It would be great if it has some specialty, like the tablets. Of course, you pay all of the resources on the research track, but you need tablets to activate artifacts.
Right.
You need arrowheads mostly to really overcome the guardians. And jewels, those are the precious ones that you will need, especially when you're researching on the top. So those were kind of like. We try to give a little bit of specialty to each of the resource and how you use it in the game.
Right. And tying in almost back to that lore as well, when you know the lore. Well, Well, Elwen, your magnifying glass has been making moves.
Shh.
Oh, no. I'll lose this race. Okay, so it's my turn again.
Oh, and so that now in terms of that assistant being up there with the coin and the airplane, is that a incredibly desirable assistant that you both wanted in this game?
It is a good one.
It's a good one. It depends which one is underneath. Like, but to have a choice would be nice.
Right, because you get to choose, you get to look at all of them and then choose the best one. So really running ahead with that magnifying glass is can be pretty important.
And usually when you think about assistant, you think about the notebook. But on this temple, like one of them is just there when you climb with your magnifying glass. So it could be one strategy. Although this one comes, you rescue him. This is a rescue action. You found this assistant out in the wild, stranded from the previous expedition.
Oh, there you go. And you leave the other one behind. You say, "Nah, somebody else will be back to get you later."
That's the reason why this assistant comes exhausted. So you will not be using the same round. You get it. So this is like this is
to rescue them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see what I'll get. I'm not really playing in the wise position.
What? Select an action?
Yeah, because I passed already with one unused card because of not a very good move.
I have 5 cards in my hand. What happened? I still have 5 cards.
What? How?
That's true.
No.
There was a draw.
Okay, let us see.
Oh, right, because of your guardian as well. Now, for these 3 assistants, walk us through your decision making on which one you want to add to your.
If I still had the fear in my hand, or if I had plenty of fear, I would definitely go for the right one. One where you can change boot into arrowhead. That's very useful. I would probably not go for the draw and discard one unless I would be able to upgrade them soon.
Right.
And even then I would really need to make sure that I really need that draw. From these, like the middle one is the most universal and helpful in the situation. So I will go for one. Okay.
Now, Min, I see you have you still have coins left, and but you decided to pass. The reasoning for that being because you wanted to manage the size of your deck, or what was that decision to pass with those resources being there? I know you're sort of capped out right now in terms of moving up on the research track because of the idols.
I just made a mistake. Usually I would buy the theodolite and probably. I was just so sad that I didn't manage to explore this round, so I made a mistake.
That's true. Well, again, that's on me. I'm getting in. Oh, and just to add insult to injury,
like this game, definitely.
Elwen just snatches that card right out from under your grasp as you mentioned it. Although it would have been discarded.
Was that on purpose? You bought it. What was it? Torch? Really? No.
Oh, about the carrier pigeon.
Yeah. Okay, else.
Okay.
Yeah, torch has just been revealed now.
That makes sense. Okay, I need to decide now.
You need to decide if you want to keep a card in your hand, which is a decision that we kept in the game, but it's 99% is something you don't want to do. Usually,
it depends on the card.
Yeah, unless it's a really awesome card, like let's say you bought aeroplane and you couldn't activate it, then maybe. But more often than not, you want to discard everything to draw up to 5.
Yeah, back, so it didn't play a role.
To keep that cycle, because it was the ritual dagger that you had to discard then, hey Min?
So you start.
I do. Oh, but I got fear. of course, I knew that.
Because you stayed with the Guardian.
Yeah, it was one of the lessons I wanted to just teach our audience. This is the dangerous thing, like if you postpone overcoming Guardian too long, just make sure.
You simply forget about them and then.
Oh, how should I play this? This is tricky. Okay, let's do this.
All right, I'll give you both a moment to assess your situations before hitting you with another question.
Oh, another question, okay.
But that moment is going to be soon evaporating as I look through my list of questions and decide which one I want to ask.
I really need to explore this round.
I really need to research this round.
Well, that's why I need to explore.
Here's a question related to board gaming, both online and in person. One thing I do love about CGE is I find any CGE game is like top quality. I mean, I love the stuff that you did with Rewood, with Kutnahora, I think, and I just find CGE to produce like such lovely games. The components in Arnak, the arrowheads and the gems are so satisfying in terms of that tactile feel and like the thickness of the cardboard. Do you ever design with components in mind when you're playing, or even just from your playtesting or your developing aspect? How much does that table presence and feel have an impact upon your own design philosophy and your own preferences?
Mm-hmm. I mean, I have an answer as a designer and then also as a just employee of CGE.
I'd love to hear both.
So as a designer, like the most important part, I think, is just to kind of like to make sure that I can communicate what I want to achieve with the prototype, that the publisher sees the potential. The game should present something new, and I think having something unique as a table presence should be part of it. And so, for example, like with Lost Ruins of Arnak, I think like there are several aspects. I think just the board itself, the orientation, everything, but also the moon stuff. Like just little elements that kind of like ties together a theme with some mechanism. The moon stuff could have been smaller token, but I think just as a big divider of two classes of cards, and also something that's showing you the round. I think it really pops up if it's bigger. And then, of course, all the components like, I think if Lost Ruins of Arnak was published like 5 years ago, like, I mean, it would be like 9 years before, then I think those would be just cubes, those really kind of like just red, white, and blue cubes. And I think it's great that the industry as a whole is just moving forward, and then we're looking for ways
so
to enhance
happy to be able to actually like make it so beautiful. Yeah, because we did have this in mind, like with the tablets and the arrowheads. They were there since the beginning, the conception of the game. But I really didn't expect them to turn out so great. Basically I expected us to go with wooden like components, or something like that. These are so much nicer.
Yeah, it's really like just such a lovely production. Min, we see that you now have two idols going to that Guardian space to turn us back to moves that have happened in between. And Elwen, you got your people on the board quickly so you could capitalize on that theodolite.
I finally gotten the second assistant.
See, I was thinking if I should try to discover the level 2 sites, like the upper ones. But since Min will be starting the next round, that would be easy pick for her.
Right.
I didn't, but now she discovered her own.
So you could have. It would have
been a lot better decision then. I still needed to place my workers to really fully utilize the theodolite, so that wasn't easy to make. Okay, so we're already in the 4th round, and I'm with my notebook on the very first step only.
I think I'll have 0 idols soon again. Bad game.
Well, it was a fast action. Mm-hmm.
Now, I guess it's in terms of different sort of end game strategies, but how much do you value leaving guardians on the board for other people for your opponent to take out, and how does that affect a 2-player game? Because I see there's that one guardian on the board that nobody has gone to get the red gem. It's clearly not worth enough to go to that spot currently.
It's actually just probably we are not playing our best game, but usually people actually do want to fight those.
And this one, yeah, like I would love to snatch it, but like since I have sturdy boots, I really wanted to use it. Also,
right.
I needed a compass from it. I decided not to go for this one. It would just cost me too much to overcome it.
Right.
And in that moment, I was still thinking about maybe discovering the second, the level 2 side, which would be expensive. But then I didn't do that, and I didn't overcome a guardian. So now I'm regretting the decision.
Well, you know what? Here's a solemn promise I'll make you for round 5. No questions other than asking about the moves that you've made to finish us up strong. Now that I've made you have such grief throughout the first 4 rounds.
So you'll leave us to savor the grief.
Exactly, right. I really want you to regret all the choices that happened that led up to that point.
How nice of you.
Okay, I can keep on asking questions. You're right. I'll do that.
Oh no, what have I done?
So what are some priorities right now in terms of gameplay that you're trying to make up for the reactivations? Both being able to activate and to flip up your assistance to the gold side has seemed to be a good goal that has been obtained by the both of you. Are there any other sort of targets that you're?
I don't know if I will manage my second golden assistant in this game.
Right.
It's just a bit too late. I mean, there's still good value there, but I think I will have to prioritize the race, the magnifying glass race. And now it's a tricky decision. I don't like. Min luckily doesn't have enough tablets. I can sneakily peek into her hand, but I shouldn't. So, like, I would probably go for the next line just to grab that coin, the research bonus. But then I would also get a fear, and my deck is so small that I am still in danger to draw it.
Right.
So that's kind of like something preventing me to do that.
Mm-hmm.
There are such a nice artifacts too. Yeah, I think at least stone key. I'll get one.
Yeah, I really like stone key. That always feels so satisfying to be able to reuse the.
Did you notice that
idols?
The runes of the dead.
The runes of the dead are really nice and giving you all the tablets you will need, right?
Exactly.
So happy.
just to keep it fresh, you know.
That was a fortuitous pull. Now, in terms of ideal pathway, well, I guess we can see when it happens. I'm seeing your magnifying glass, Min. What's the benefits of going up to the red gem portion versus going up to getting the on the research track, either going left or right, getting either the coin bonus or the draw bonus? Is it more effective?
The draw bonus can be really strong if you have good cards.
Yeah.
So, I probably want to go there, but if I snatch the bonus from him, I can go the other way, and I can still climb up that way with my book. So
right.
We'll see.
Oh, this is hard. Do it.
For me, the tablets are useful because I have artifacts in my deck of cards, so I can use those. Like I can also stress him out. So
yeah. going for first round.
Okay.
Because you don't want to get that fear.
Yeah, I will. We'll see. Maybe that's stupid because that would mean I would draw 5 cards. I mean, one of the 5 cards will be. It's a 1/5.
Okay,
the chances are not high that I would get it. Oh, she took it. I thought it from her comment, but she played me.
Because I have the ritual dagger, I can still exile the fear.
That's true. And your assistant also gets rid of cards as well.
Yes.
You've got a pretty nice trashing engine going on.
So I'm not afraid.
And it's not just the coin, it's the tempo.
But I can't progress much higher. Oh, I can actually. Oh, but do I want to?
Oh, that was a terrible mistake.
Yeah, of course I want to. Why wouldn't I? Right? Because I have so much gold. Maybe I have too many jewels.
Oh yeah,
now.
you have five gold.
Okay, this is way too many jewels. Will I be able to use them?
Such a humble brag.
I'll try. This is the danger with this assistant, because sometimes what you want is an arrowhead, but you're like tempted to take the
right,
dead.
because I mean, it's the jewels just, it's much harder to get.
Yeah. Now I'm torn. Will I buy a card? 2 points. It's like good, but then I won't draw these beautiful artifacts. Maybe the torch could still be useful. No, I'll just pass.
The final round.
And so you aren't scared about getting fear because even though you were still on that guardian, or was that a distracted oversight?
Completely forgot about that guardian, but I wouldn't have been able to deal with him anyway. But I was lucky, I didn't draw the card yet.
You start.
Oh, I start, okay. Well, maybe I'll draw it now then. No, I won't, because I don't have the... I need a tablet. I need a tablet to start my tablet engine going. Huh. Maybe... Interesting. It's not a good trade, but still better than nothing. So fly here. Let's get my tablets.
Okay, I don't think I can leave that side unattended.
Oh, I'll let it too. It's okay. We all make mistakes. And you'll have to deal with the guardian.
Yes. That's true.
Brush up the research check. So, go here.
This research track is not good. I mean,
2 cards with 1 step. Nice.
However, your guardians that you've overcome might counteract that as well in terms of the balance of the game.
I haven't done much in this game actually. It just looks like I did. I don't have any guardians. I don't have any idols. So what am I doing?
What am I doing with my life?
Exactly.
Okay, definitely there are some idols better than the others. So I want to research this side. I will pay premium price to get there, but then I will be able to refresh my golden assistant. No, not both of them wanted. I don't have that many fear cards.
So you're happy about your choice?
Well,
those guardians seem like they could be overcome. And you do have a nice supply of tablets there, Elwen. So at least you're gonna make up some of the research track points.
But I was complaining about all those arrowheads I have and no jewels now. That's so long ago.
No, you're too fast. I don't want to make a suboptimal move. I'll have to anyway. So I need to be first.
I need to be first.
Yeah, that seems. like it was pretty clutch. There's the arrowhead. That's why the flexibility of that assistant is so nice, right?
Yes, I like that about it.
Mm-hmm.
But now what?
Well, Min, you're sitting on 7 cards in your hand. That feels pretty solid as well, and some tablets to activate some tasty artifacts that have been hanging around.
Oh yes, we'll see if I manage to be quick enough about that. So it's my turn again. Okay.
Yeah, Elwen just used the binoculars to get a compass and a arrowhead.
Yeah, I'm not even breathing.
Like we can feel. That's also what I love about this game, is that like every move does matter. It's just exciting for me to watch. That's also why I love WSBG, because I just like, I've learned so much from watching people who are good at games play games, that I feel like it's really reflected in my own play, and it's just very exciting to
don't do it.
To see that race happen and to feel the tension around.
No, it's fine. Somehow.
Still need to go somewhere.
Okay. I need to draw a good card.
It's about skill.
What did you draw?
Almost the card.
Almost the card? What were you hoping to draw?
It was no. I mean, it's good. It's fine.
Okay. What do I want? Okay, this is nice. How did this will stay here?
What? Tell me what.
Okay. Well, there's this one side with a refresh assistant, right?
Yeah, I was. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
it's all.
But maybe I will short one compass if I do that. But I have all the gold, so maybe I can just pay it with gold. I'll do that.
You're rich.
I'm so rich.
You won't need it.
And now I'll read this one. Oh, but now I'll need the gold. No, okay. Anyway, I make it. What's this? Oh, it's because of size.
Oh yeah. You can choose if you want to take that torch, which is 2 points at this point in the game. How much does that calculation factor in terms of points on cards, or when does the point on card calculation sort of start to factor in for both of your decision making?
Oh, maybe about halfway through the game, but this is actually a good deal, I guess. But
I mean, this is the best ratio you can get from an item, right? A 1-to-1. But of course, like if you could get something for.
Well, I'm still wondering whether I can or not.
Probably
with the 2 compasses.
Yeah.
But if you can get, like 2 compasses and buy an artifact,
it could be worth it.
You will still use it.
I'll go for the compasses. Spider.
Spider, more arrowheads. It seems like all the guardians have really loved their arrowheads. That's where they came from.
Oh, it's my turn. Sorry.
Oh, sorry.
Well, this is just not going the way I expected.
What did you expect?
I expected.
Probably will. With all those guardians.
I don't think so.
It does feel very balanced right now in terms of the potential score that's upcoming. Although Elwen does have the idols.
The last one that I can use, and I'm not sure I want to use it, but probably. I just really need arrowheads. It's not running away, right? If I can overcome a guardian. Any better one? I don't think so.
Although to be fair, it is what I do find is like really interesting is the points that get covered with the idols. Because I was looking, it looks on Elwen's board, it looks like so much stronger than it actually could be. But if Elwen covers, Elwen's sitting at 15 points, and then you're still sitting at 13 points if you don't cover, or 12 points if you do, which is it's an exciting balance that you've found with that idea of trading points for resources to get you more points, or to keep that engine running down the line.
It's useful, but you don't want to overuse it. So. Exactly.
So give me some time to think. I can't. I don't know. What is
that? That felt like a pretty nice move. Basically 4 points in exchange for a tablet and a gem. In terms of how you both think about your decisions in these endgame decisions, are you doing the max minning and maxing the
it will still come. This is not the phase for me yet.
Yeah.
I'm now trying to decide what I can actually achieve.
Mm-hmm.
I think you should do it. I just sometimes you feel lazy.
That's fair. I think that happens with all of us.
Well, I do. Usually, I just want to use all my resources well. So right now, I decided to kind of use the trader scales because I really want to get benefit from them. But maybe it wasn't the best move. I don't have it all planned out, so I'm hoping here that's going.
Having all those artifacts in your hand too has been helpful, and it feels like those tablets are very important because of that.
Well, if you have lots of artifacts and you manage to get the Runes of the Dead, that's actually a good thing. Can help you a lot. I feel like I have too many jewels. Like, it's not bragging. I just don't know what to do. It's my turn again.
I'm sorry, I didn't tell you.
No.
Elwen was just too excited that he moved his notebook up on the research track and is within striking distance of getting an artifact.
I can escape the Guardian. Can send the Guardian to fetch me some good things. But what I would want is a tablet. And he can't do that. Can he? She's going to base camp. That's not the best move. Like, I have no idols whatsoever. What am I doing? Like,
well, remember the moment when you said you are not discovering sites.
Well, did I say that?
Yeah, I think you did. You said it at the beginning. when Elwen promised that he wouldn't move up on the research track or get any assistance, but no, it seems like he's broken that promise.
Promises should be kept, you know.
Well, I kept it to the last possible moments, you know.
Is Golden Tile worth the sacrifice? I don't know. Let's try.
Oh, your binoculars. I was like, how are you going to... Oh, the compass, that's what I meant.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you wanted tablets, 2 popped up with the sundial.
This is a tough decision. But I'll probably go. And maybe it was a mistake. Does it do what I think it does? Okay.
Just in terms of the interface?
Yeah, I'm just not sure how to.
Are you activating which one?
The Pathfinder stuff, but
you need to click on your assistant and then on the side view going, I think.
Yeah, I think so too.
I clicked on.
Maybe on the side, not on the assistant. Try it.
Yeah, but it's not working.
But try it like the side, not just. Yeah, and now. Yeah, but maybe.
No, it doesn't work.
You must select space to relocate to. Yeah, so
I did that, but it's just. Okay, I'll just undo this turn. I'll try.
Yeah, if you try it again, then.
This is actually fun. It's been a while we played without the expedition leaders.
I'll actually try the Guardian's Crown and see how that goes.
And it's actually
Can I do that?
Quite nice experience just to have the
I don't want to do that.
Right. I guess, yeah, and I guess you'll want to consistently be playing with a lot of the expansion stuff, especially when you're developing and develop even more to make sure that things interact with everything works together, right? But
yeah.
But it also emphasizes too, I find a lot in the board gaming hobby, there's such a focus on more, like extending the expansions. But I think a testament to your game, even with such sort of relatively few cards, there's what, sort of 35 or in each camp of artifacts and items in the base game.
The game contains there's like 110, but that's all together. So that's like, I think 40 and 35.
Right. Yeah. But it shows just like, I think it's, I think the base game is just so full already, and Expedition Leaders is super fun. But just even I've been playing mostly base as well because of WSBG using just the base game, and it's just a testament to how like you don't always need an expansion to have the next thing. When you return to the base, it's always very satisfying. But that being said, I really do like asymmetric powers, and so I really appreciate Expedition Leaders. What was that process like in terms of developing the asymmetry? I know I said I wouldn't ask you any questions in these final moments, but you pulled one out of it.
It was really a lot of fun, actually. We kind of thought it would be impossible even, because it was such a tight, you can't really give the players that many resources. You have to spread it out and kind of slowly trickle it into the game. But it was so much fun coming, like the theme of it, and just making it. Oh, it's my turn again. No, you speak.
It was fun.
So just making the theme work with the mechanics was so much fun.
We're super grateful that by the time Arnak was quite popular, and we found amazing community of play testers that all over the globe actually, and they log in. How many? It was like so really high hundreds of games, and we had so much data to balance the leaders. It was amazing. I think it was over 2,000 games.
Wow!
If I remember correctly. Like the first expansion, and they were top. Like that was the moment when we realized we're no longer, as you can see, the best in our own game. When we were testing the leaders with them, it's like, yeah, you just showed me how to play him well, or that character. It was so refreshing and so much fun just to play with all these top players, and
awesome.
It helped us to just balance everything out, and yeah,
cool.
You reached the temple too.
Yes, there was actually a sequence of 5 moves I needed to do and then you started to talk about using the Guardian's Crown that I just really needed, and I was like, oh, don't.
Oh, so I didn't use it then. So you're happy?
Yes.
Yeah, we saw Elwen get quiet around that point, and then never was there a quicker move that happened.
Yeah, for me actually, it wouldn't have been the best move, but maybe I would have stolen a few points from you. My turn again. Okay. Now's the time not to forget to use the file from my Guardian. This is not much I can still do something. That was my last move.
Well, I'm also
Sadly.
close to finish.
Yeah, you will win. Have any cards?
Yeah,
Well,
my notebook is. I used the main action.
I do have some value in cards, so we'll see. Probably not.
Oh, this would be a nice artifact.
Yeah, it feels like the balance. Your cards feel decently balanced. Although I know Elwen has some fear in the deck, but the bet that Elwen's going to win right now, just based upon the vibe. It feels like it'll be close.
Like 4 guardians, like 3 more guardians, 15 points just
the
there.
golden temple tiles. You know, like you have 11 points right there.
Yeah, the golden temple balances. You're 7 ahead with the notebook.
You're on the same score with the idols. No, you're the same
score.
Yeah. I use them all.
Yeah, because it's 12 and 12.
Mostly about the deck of cards now.
Oh, I'm
excited.
No, I'm glad it gives us a time to make our predictions and see before we have the big reveal of the scoreboard.
That's it. I will not be able to use these last ones.
Got that bronze temple tile.
Okay, so let's see.
Okay, 35 for research for Min, 26 for Elwen, 13 for temple tiles for Min, 2 for temple tiles for Elwen, 12 for idols, and then 12 for idols. 5 for guardians, and then a big 20 for guardians with 65, and then 10 for items and artifacts. What is it? 11 for items and artifacts.
Congratulations!
-1 for fear. Min pulls it out.
Oh, I tried so hard.
It was a really good comeback. I thought you had it until that gold temple tile that Min had her eyes on for all of round 5. That was a good match. It was a very good match, and I mean, honestly, both of you performed incredibly admirably with me throwing all of these, all of the information and all the questions at you as well. We can see, I'm just scrolling down on the stats for everybody who's watching at home of all the different steps. For those who want to look at the stats, you can see the stats on your screen right now. That was a fun game. I mean, it was fun for me to watch. I wasn't even playing. That's like a testament to how enjoyable the game was. I love getting to see everybody's moves.
It's really a fun experience for us as well, I think. I mean, even though I lost, it was still fun.
Even though Min now is undisputably the grudge match is over. Min is the Arnak champ, but until the rematch, maybe at WSBG. Who knows?
We'll see. Well, now it's on. We need.
Now the training begins. To finish us up, I have a bunch of like this or that. We're gonna go into the lightning round, and I'm just gonna ask you which one thing or the other, and you can answer with your gut, and then that'll be that. How does that sound?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Here comes the lightning round. Cards or dice?
Cards.
Okay. And you know what? We should keep a tally of how much you answer together and how much you answer separately. I think that'll be good. Okay, theme or mechanics?
Mechanics.
That's hard. Mechanics too, yeah.
Mechanics. All right. Okay. Cooperative or competitive?
Cooperative.
Was that cooperative?
Cooperative, yeah.
For both?
Yeah.
Oh, that's surprising. That's surprising to me. Well, just because Arnak is competitive, so that's the only sort of thing I have to work on.
Last expansion, it's also cooperative.
Well, there you go. Right. That's exciting. What's your favorite co-op games that you like to play? This isn't part of the lightning round. I'm just curious.
Like right now, with our kids, we're playing Tales of Red Dragon Inn, which is such a beautiful dungeon crawler that we really enjoy with our kids.
Like we played a lot of the Lord of the Rings.
Oh yeah, I have still so many packs unopened, and we are also always joking. This is what we will play when we retire. So we still have these LCG collections. It's like one day.
We played it a lot back then.
That's fun. I'm sure. I mean, you're not the only person who has. I'm sure many a board gamer will relate to that. Oh yeah, I'll play this one when I retire, and I'll play this one when I retire.
And then we have all the unique like Space Alert. It's like such an awesome team building activity, or like Spirit Island. Such a fun game, you know. There's so many that like, especially we love playing with our kids, and they really prefer playing cooperative games. And so it was even fun to play like the latest expansion with them. It was such a fun experience to see our kids through the campaign of Lost Ruins of Arnak. It was great for us.
I was glad they liked it. It was kind of, what if they don't like it, you know?
Yeah, that's true. The harshest critics, right? Amazing. Okay, we'll get back into the lightning round. Light or heavy?
Heavy.
Medium.
I had a feeling you might say medium. Yeah, medium, because I feel like Arnak is medium. I would say that's medium, right? And then okay, so after medium, Elwen, heavy or light? Which one would you skew towards?
Heavy, I think.
Yeah. Fantasy or science fiction?
Fantasy.
Well, that makes sense because of D&D, right? The role playing.
Science fiction.
We do, but it's still just slight preference.
See my t-shirt.
I would also go with fantasy, even though I mean, come on, we're all nerds. We all like both, right? Abstract or thematic? I guess it's kind of themes.
Definitely thematic.
Yeah. Eurogames or Ameritrash?
Eurogames.
That makes sense. Miniatures or meeples?
Miniatures, which is fun. This might be like some of the like Ameritrash games as well.
We do.
Yeah, for sure. Real time or turn based?
Turn based,
probably.
But I really like.
Yeah, it depends on the mood.
And on the game.
Usually.
Yeah, for sure. Legacy or campaign? So legacy being not being able to be reset.
Campaign for me.
Yes.
Campaign.
I hate it when the game tells you to destroy anything. I can't do it. I always.
I know it hurts me.
Carefully put it aside.
High player count or lower player count?
Lower, definitely.
Okay. Now you should do something else.
I think you're lockstep on all. I mean, it's clear. It's a good match. It's a good partnership. Here's one: player interaction or multiplayer solitaire.
Multiplayer solitaire.
Player interaction for me.
Oh, there you go. All right, we're good. Modular or fixed boards?
Modular.
Economic or area control?
Economic.
Limited resources or unlimited resources?
Limited. Yes.
Cool. Set collection or engine building?
Engine
building, definitely.
By a lot.
Asymmetric rolls or same roll?
You will have to explain that to me.
Like the base,
like base Arnak or expedition leaders, I guess.
Everyone starting with the same starting conditions or having unique powers and stuff.
That's hard. I don't know. I like when the game has both and I can choose.
That's a good answer. Victory point based or like objective based? There's one end goal. Or like point salad?
Well, you say yours.
I'd say...
For me, it's objective, but it's hard to design.
Very hard. I think it depends on the game. Sometimes, here, I feel strongly that the team has to go with the mechanic. So
for sure,
can't really say for sure.
And then I've got the hardest question for last: worker placement or deck building?
Deck building.
Really?
Deck building. There you go. Amazing. I was hoping there would be more conflict at the end. I was hoping one would be worker placement, one would be deck building, and then I could say, oh, and that's how we got Lost Ruins of Arnak.
Oh, sorry. But I love so many deck building games. Favorite, definitely.
Outside of Lost Ruins of Arnak, what are some of your favorite games? Like in your tops? They can be CGE titles, they can be non-CGE titles if you have a couple of both.
But we, for example, mentioned already like Ascension, Min being like inspiration for the deck building part. But example, Lords of Waterdeep was a big inspiration for the worker placement part. Yeah,
cool.
But our favorite games, like I really like Mage Knight board game.
Space Alert and Galaxy Tracker being like our staple. Like we play with our kids as well.
Yeah, it's just like lots of fun, right?
But then also like Terraforming Mars or heavier games sometimes.
Like Terraforming, I really like the engine building, like the economy in the game. So much fun.
Also like games. There's one like area control game that combines deck building and area control. The Tyrants of Underdark.
Yeah. I haven't played that, but I need to.
You should. No one. I feel like
nobody talks about it.
I know.
I haven't heard about it. I don't really like the setting that much, so really dark. But it's such a good game. Yeah.
It is brilliant. Yeah, you should try it.
Yeah, it's like number one on my list of like things that I need to. I know I'm gonna gel with it. Just like. Because I love deck building, I love area control. I also love worker placement, right? Probably why Arnak hits so well with me as well.
It's definitely one of those games where you're like making enemies, like out of your friends.
Yeah, that's true. I don't mind that because when you leave the table,
you can always make new friends, right?
And you can always make new friends. That's exactly it. That's one thing that I love about the World Series of Board Gaming too, is that like everybody there is like there to compete, but then once the game's over, it's like one of the most friendly environments that's out there. So it's been really cool to see that because you never know what you're going to get, right? In terms of if people are going to be too competitive or not, but it's just like a really lovely environment. And I'm so thrilled that you two will be joining us. I get to see you in person as I run around and try to fix cameras and stuff, but I'll see you during Arnak coverage for sure, because I'll be behind the scenes and I look forward to hanging out with you at the event.
So cool. Like we're excited to be there.
That's for sure.
It's really new for us.
I mean, like all the idea of this kind of like big championship, it was like always a big thing. I still remember that we participated in some tournaments and stuff like that. And all the excitement about it, and like this being like the World Board Gaming Series and being there. That's why we said yes, we want to go.
Amazing. It's going to be so. We are so thrilled to have Lost Ruins of Arnak in the lineup this year. We're so thrilled that you can join us. And to everybody watching, if you want to hang out, maybe play a game with Min and Elwen, they'll be at WSBG. Make sure you get your tickets. There's a link down below. You can go to WSBGvegas.com to get your tickets there. All three of us will be there, and we'll be very excited to see you and say hi. And hey, if people bring their boxes of Lost Ruins of Arnak, will you sign it for them?
Sure. We'll be happy to meet all the time there.
Amazing. Well, thank you, Min and Elwen, so much for your time. This was a friggin' blast. And I'll see you in Vegas.
This was fun. Thank you so much. See you in Vegas.
See you, everybody.